Alright you guys, so today's video is going to be for my divine masculines on a journey. I know it's not Monday and here we talk all things divine masculine on Mondays, but I received this in download to share this with you. So that's what we're going to do today. It's going to be a bit of a longer kind of an episode, sort of a video. So if you don't have time now, save this for later. If you do have time, grab a snack and let's go. So what I want to talk to you about today is the separation time when you are separated from your feminine, and the thing that I mentioned to you many times in my readings, that in the separation we have no access to our masculine. In the physical world, we as a feminine, we have no idea what's going on with you, whereas you have access to our energy. You usually keep tabs on us, you usually observe us, you usually watch us, and whether that's for social media or however you can, it usually is for social media. So today I want to really break this down to you so you explain why that happens and how you can use that for your growth and for your ascension. Because on this journey, mutually within a pairing, we are each other's greatest teachers and greatest students. You will never learn so much from anyone in this world that you will learn from your feminine, and vice versa, right? So you can be sitting here with me and you're going to learn a lot from me because I'm someone who has experience and I'm a channel and I'm a medium and I'm meant to guide divines into union. But the messages that will be left by your feminine will hit differently and will resonate differently. So today we're going to talk about this topic, and I'm going to give you 3 specific things that I want you to consciously start observing as you watch your feminine, observing within yourself and the relationship that you have towards her, despite the fact that you are in separation, to use them for your growth and for your ascension. So before I start, I want to explain to you as well how it looks like for the feminine, so you can understand from your masculine perspective. Because although you follow us and you keep tabs on us and you watch us, you don't actually know what we're going through. You don't have a full visual. So I want you to have that understanding as a context. So when I say that the divine feminine in separation, we know nothing of you, of the masculine, I mean that we know nothing of you in the 3D. So the divine feminine usually, for most part, and it's going to be very individual, but in many cases we really go into that separation in a sense that you disappear under a rock. Usually we don't have any friends in common. Usually we don't even live nearby, or we don't live in the same city, or even in the same country. Oftentimes the feminines actually move following the masculine on this journey in the beginning when they're in pain in the initial stages of the separation. But part of detaching and part of moving on is to live life for you. So we usually either move on or we return home physically, and we sort of detach from your physical life. And when that period of separation starts, we don't know what's going on with you. We don't know where you live. We don't know whether you have the same job, whether you have the same friends. We don't know whether you're dating someone, seeing someone. Maybe you're in a relationship. Maybe you moved to a different city, country. Maybe you got married. Maybe you have children. We have no way of knowing. Many things can happen in 2, 3, or however many years of separations. And our masculines, you have your own individual karmic quest that you need to complete, and we do not have access to that information. However, being who we are, meaning that we are one consciousness split into 2 sovereign souls in 2 separate bodies, we are always connected through red threads. We are always connected through telepathy, because again, one consciousness, right? So our over souls, our higher selves, are basically merged in the spirit realm. So because of that, we will have access to some information, and depending on your individual feminine, who she is, what are her psychic gifts, what are her activated gifts, ancestral gifts, where is she on a journey, she's going to be experiencing that information differently. It may be more on a conscious level towards the end of the journey and more subconscious in the beginning. But there's going to be two things that she will sometimes be shown to help herself and help you out, because again, we walk this journey as one, and we are each other's greatest teachers and students, even if we don't realize that. So that one information, that first information that we will receive, we will feel you through the portal of the heart. We will feel you emotionally. So even though we don't know what's going on with you, when you will be going through something very difficult, you will be facing a dark night of the soul. You will be facing a specific shadow that will be challenging for you, like that first hit for your mother wound, for your avoidance, for your abandonment, right? We will energetically feel that. Now, if that happens, like I said, in the beginning of the journey, we may not realize, we may actually feel that this is our own emotion, that this is our own feeling, our own wound being triggered. But in reality, what happens on this journey is like, imagine, I think I've mentioned this to you guys on my masterclass, two people walking in a corridor and there's a wall between them and you don't even realize, but you go through the same cycle, same experiences. The background is completely different. The setting is completely different. But when you are addressing your father wound, it means that the father wound is knocking on your feminine's door as well. It's just that we started this journey earlier, because when we start, we do the healing and you are completely dormant. And then when we reach more of a peace, inner union kind of a state, then you start your journey and we hold that space, but we continue to grow, to ascend, to escalate, to expand. So as you're going to be doing your first rodeo on your mother wound, we're going to hit that wound for a fifth, sixth, seventh time to go even deeper, right? So it's like we're going to be doing this together, but we're already in more of a yin and yang state, whereas for you it's very intense, right? So again, in the beginning, the feminine may not realize, she will be subconsciously pushed to support that, because you again walk as one, she will feel that emotion. But as she grows, she will be so self-aware of her own inner state of being and her own emotions, that when an external emotion comes in, it's also how we learn empathy. Whole different topic, I digress. She's going to realize that that's not mine, that must be my masculine, that he's going through something, because again, we're telepathically connected. So that's first thing that she's going to be sensing, that you're going through specific wound, that she's going to be intuitively feeling like, oh, I think like he's on this stage of the journey, but she's not going to know the physical aspect of your life, and she's not going to have access to the how and the when. And I oftentimes say this to you guys, even feminists, all feminists were channels, right? But some of us will work more in the physical world. We will have a path related to working with children, working with women, working with trauma. We can be teachers, psychologists, all kinds of things. And some of us, a portion of us, will become psychics, mediums, shamans, medicine women, right? So we have our very individual paths, but we are all seers, we're all high priestesses. As we drop into our feminine energy, we connect to the portal of the heart, we are very intuitive, right? So we channel. However, we channel for others, we can be psychic for others. We obviously can channel for ourselves in sense of, I intuitively feel that I should do this in terms of my career. I should let go of this person. I should connect maybe to that person. I should do this in terms of my finances, in terms of my path, my wound. So we will receive that guidance. But the portion of our journey that is linked to you, where you are, the how, the when, the physical aspect of the journey of the union is completely hidden from us, completely hidden. When your feminine is fully in her integrated divine feminine, integrated all the shadows, divine feminine state, and she trusts that you will be reunited, she has no way of knowing whether it's going to be this year or in 5 years or in 10 years. She trusts it's going to be this lifetime, but she has no way of knowing the when and the how, and she's completely okay with that. So remember that. So the access to the information she has will only be on a level of energy. She knows nothing of you. It's hidden from her for a reason. So first thing she received, like I said, it's the emotion, because you're connected through that thread Also golden threads from heart to heart, so she will feel you, right? The more she is pro on her journey, she will feel you more. And the second thing that she may know about you and your journey is that sometimes we may receive visions, intuitive thoughts. It can be a physical vision. You can actually see something, especially if a feminine is a seer. We can see this in a dream, right? It's going to depend on what gifts she has activated within and how she communicates with the spirit realm. And we can receive these visions about you doing a specific thing, and that's going to serve our lesson, because we're always mirroring to each other what we haven't yet learned, right? So, for example, we may have a vision, and it's not a vision in a sense that it's invented. It's an actual thing. We will see you. It actually happened. You did this, right? So we can have a vision and see you with another woman, right? So we're not going to know if this is just a one-night stand or if you are actually dating this woman, is this something serious? But we're seeing you with another woman. Boom, the vision comes to us. Why? Because we teach each other. We learn from each other. We need to deal with that emotion. We need to accept the fact that you are living your own life and you are free to do whatever you want, and you have your own karmic quest. So whatever is going to pop up for us, jealousy, sadness, disappointment, anger, rage, insecurities, why is he choosing this woman, not me, why is he still doing this, judgment, whatever will come up for us, it will be a lesson for us to process that, right? And just a side note, I've mentioned this in, I think, my previous reading for the masculines or divine love, one of the readings in the past week, that some feminines, when they are not yet tapped into their intuitions, their gifts, and they don't trust these visions, they don't trust these feelings, they get lost on the journey, then the masculine is pushed to check in a little bit more in the separation, as you can come in as often to check in every 3 months, every 6 months, right? Whereas some pairings, you may actually hold the separation with zero contact for 1.5 years, 2 years or plus, because you already have enough self-awareness to use these intuitive thoughts and these visions to learn. We don't have to see you in the physical. We don't have to see you with another woman. We don't have to see your photo online with another woman. The vision itself is enough. So we trust it and we start to process the emotion that comes with it. Okay, so this is how we connect to you in separation. Now I want to give you 3 things that I really want you to pay attention to and be mindful of as you watch your feminine in separation, and as you connect to your feminine. Like I said, it's usually through social media, right? In this time of day, all the twins that have been awakening for the past decades, we would have the push as a feminine to create some sort of a community, right? So for some it's going to be bigger, for some it's going to be smaller, for some you're going to be doing something completely not spiritual, but you're going to have your personal social media when you're going to share your thoughts, your life. We are here to be the teachers for the world, for future generations, for people around us. So we're always somehow out there, right? To connect to our flock, right? To our community. So the masculine usually follows us, and he like I said, you keep tab on us and you watch us. So I want you to pay attention to 3 things and realize 3 things. Thing number 1 is the messages that your feminine leaves to you. Because your feminine, it's going to be down on a subconscious level, right? Very subconscious level. Even a feminine who is very much developed, very much psychic, very much in our mind, we leave those messages for the collective. We receive the download, we share it because we feel the intuitive thought to share either a specific message, or you talk about specific topics, your feminine talks about specific topics, we share that. But what you need to realize that we are teacher for many, but we are the greatest teachers for you. Just like you are the greatest teacher for us. So every single video, every single post, every single photo, every single thing that she says on social media usually has a hidden message for you. Obviously, use your discernment, right? But as you observe her, as you listen to her, there's going to be hidden messages because she learns life, she learns spirituality, she learns meaning of life, she learns her path, she learns herself through you, because you are one. So there's always going to be hidden clues. So focus on the topics that she's talking about, the shadows that she's talking about, the things that she's talking about. It might not be direct. It might not be like a one-to-one translation. So like think big picture and think a little bit deeper. But she will be leaving those hidden messages for you. And I have this card in my Divine Masculine Oracle deck. I brought this here with me. It's the Feminine She Speaks to You. I'm gonna post this whole card on my stories so you can check that out and you can read through this. But it speaks exactly about that. Your feminine is your oracle. Your feminine is your well of knowledge, well of abundance. This is why we also, when we talk about two divines already in divine union, the feminine is your portal, right? She's your portal, your channel, your oracle, your messenger, your well, right? There's tons of messages, and she's going to be doing this subconsciously. So as you're already in union, she's going to be wandering around the house. Maybe she's going to be singing something. Maybe she will say something randomly. There will always be hidden messages for you, because we are, again, each other's greatest teachers and students. So this is the oracle deck that I've channeled, and that's the great example that I can give you. I've channeled this oracle deck for Divine Masculine on a Journey. It will beautifully serve any masculine, not just on a twin flame journey, any masculine on a journey towards divinity. It can be beautifully used by a divine feminine to hold space for her inner masculine, to heal her inner masculine, to tap into what's going on with her physical masculine. But this is built on a journey of my masculine. This is the greatest tool for my masculine, because I've created it through him, through his energy. Do you know what I mean? So our messages are for all, but listen to these messages, because she will subconsciously know, and your guides, both of your guides, will push these messages onto her. She will think, oh, it's just a channel, I'm going to share this. But in reality, there's always something for your own masculine. For as long as you're in separation, there's a message that can help him to reach wholeness, to reach union, to progress on this journey. So listen carefully to those messages. Second thing you're going to be paying attention to is the emotion she causes. And that's something that we've covered as well many times in my readings, on Masculine Mondays, in my masterclass. Your feminine causes a lot of emotions. And in the beginning of the journey, because you are in avoidance, because you are in denial, because you are under a veil, the emotion that she causes within you, you project onto her. Right? So it's this phenomenon about, I've also explained to you guys in I think I've done a video a few days ago about how no one can make you feel. People can only trigger the feeling that is within you, right? So she will make you feel maybe belittled, maybe jealous, maybe angry. And instead of contemplating, or I'm feeling this specific way, like she made me feel because she's evil, because she's this and that, are you projecting completely? This is why you escape. This is why you avoid. This is why you miss to understand what this journey is really about, but it's all part of the process. So now when you're already aware, you're in separation, you're in final stages of the separation. Remember, when I say final, don't think time-wise. It just means that you're already aware and you're healing, but it can still be cycles. Like there's no rush. We completely release the rush on this journey, all in divine timing. And you, as a masculine, it's your job to decide when it's actually going to happen. You are the creator of the reality and the physical for both of us. We create union in the 5D, then you have to ground it, right? So you'll know when the time is right. But when you are on those final stages, so you're already in awareness and you're already healing, you're going to be watching her online, on social media or whatever that is, and she's going to be causing certain emotions. And for as long as that emotion is not pure love, it means that there's something for you to heal. And this is, use your discernment again, because your feminine will cause emotions within you, even when you are together in union. Like she will sometimes piss you off, and she will cause you to be like impatient. She will maybe irritate you. She will trigger an old wound, and you will do same for us. right? But when we're in union, we already fully walk as one. So we'll be able to just have a conversation, to, you know, to work through this together and so on and so forth. Whereas in separation, you have to pay attention to the emotions that are emerging, because those emotions will keep showing you the shadows that you still need to realize, heal, integrate, and keep at bay. So for example, you may be watching your feminine, I don't know, she posted a photo or she posted a video and she's looking really nice, and you feel jealous in a sense of, you know, oh my gosh, she's looking nice, like other men are going to be like, address that jealousy. She's done nothing wrong. She's just being herself. She's just living her life. Why is this causing jealousy within you? Or that's the controlling issue within you, right? Or she may cause a jealousy in a sense, oh my God, like she's already achieved this and that, and I don't have all these things. Again, why is she causing jealousy? We are one. My achievements are your achievements. We walk as one. True divine masculine is proud of her feminine, right? So really observe the emotions that she is causing within. She's causing sadness because you're not together. Why are you sad? Address these emotions she's causing. Whatever she is causing, address that emotion, because through that emotion you'll be able to connect the dots between emotion, the wound, the shadow, and things that you still need to work on. Now the third thing that she's causing, and that's the fun point that you may not even realize, because the first two you probably subconsciously knew. It's like she's speaking to you in these messages. You can feel that, you can hear that she's speaking to you. Then she's causing emotion. If you're already self-aware, then she's causing these emotions, so you may already be in this moment where you're analyzing those emotions. But this first thing is what the masculines usually miss. She will actually cause a behavior within you that you're failing to analyze in a proper context. So I'm going to give you specific examples so you understand. Let's say, because that's going to be most cases, you are watching your feminine through social media. You're watching her stories, you're watching her videos, whatever content she shares and she posts. Most masculines, because of the veil of avoidance and the wound of avoidance, you do that from a fake account. Okay? You do that from a fake account. And that's a behavior, because it's something that you do in a physical world. You create a fake account so she doesn't realize that it's you. But now what you're realizing or not realizing at a certain point, she's very intuitive. You're one. She'll know, right? So we're going to reach this point on a journey when I know that this is your account. I know. You know that I know. Moreover, I know that you know that I know. So everybody knows, okay? So the fake account is completely unnecessary, okay? It's completely unnecessary. I know it's you, okay? So now, what is it within you? What is it within you that is still causing you to be afraid to expose yourself in front of the person who knows you most, despite the separation, who knows you most in this universe, because she knows your soul just like you know hers? Twin flames, there's no other person on the face of the planet that could ever know another human being to the extent that twins know each other, because we're one consciousness. We feel each other on a core level, right? We walk as one. We're one consciousness. You are me and I am you. What you're trying to hide, okay? So what is causing within you the need to still hide behind a fake account, despite the fact that I know and you know that I know and I know that you know that I know? What is causing the fear of exposure, of vulnerability, of showing, I want to see you? And I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm not afraid to show myself. There's still avoidance, right? So this is just an example. If that's your pattern, it means that there's still something that you are avoiding to expose. And I'm going to give you another example in a moment, but there's a thing that I want to mention here. It's very important. Oftentimes on this journey, right, when we walked few good years through this journey, to an outside observer, we're actually amazing people, right? We've healed, we went through our glow up, we went through like countless deaths and rebirths. So you may actually be on point with these things, right? So you actually maybe to a very, very serious level, you've healed your avoidance. Maybe you're no longer avoidant with your family. Maybe you're no longer avoidant with yourself and your emotions. Maybe you're no longer avoidant with your work, with your friends, with your passions, with your ambitions. Maybe you almost completely integrated that avoidance. Maybe you became vulnerable with people. Maybe you had moments of vulnerability with your best friend, with your family, with your mother, with your, right, that you actually opened your heart. Maybe your heart is already opened, right? But remember, us to each other divines, we can be to an outside observer literally the best person, the most ascended yin and yang walking Christ consciousness, but we will know how to push each other buttons, because we are meant in this lifetime for greatness. This is why we decide to split our consciousness into two souls and put them in separate bodies to constantly push those little things. It's not a big shadow anymore. It's not a big thing anymore. You're a great person. You're a great man. But this little thing that she's going to push, because she is programmed to help you to be even better, just like you are programmed to help her to be even better, right? So don't give yourself grace, give yourself compassion, but observe what behaviors she's pulling out in your interaction with her, even if it's not interaction, it is in real life, because social media, phone, fake account, it's not energy, it's actual thing, right? So it is in the physical, but it's not like face to face. You know what I mean? So that's the first example. If you're afraid to be exposed, really go deep down on why. Why am I still afraid to show myself vulnerably to someone that knows still everything about me? We may know things about each other in the physical world, right? But on energy level, on soul level, or who you really are, she will know everything about that. Just like you, maybe even without realizing you know everything about her, because you're one consciousness. What's there to know? It's not really that complicated, right? So analyze that. And another example that I want to give you, beautifully seen in social media, when you watch her, be it from that fake account or your own account, right? You watch her. Oftentimes the masculines, you have like those waves, right? You're going to watch your feminine for a few days, for maybe a few weeks, and then again, you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to disappear. It seems like nothing. It seems like it's just social media. It thinks like it just doesn't matter. But why you're lacking consistency in the simplest things, like checking in with her through social media, it is showing you that there's a still wound within you that is not completely polished and is not completely integrated, that is stopping you from being consistent and committing to her consistently. Because if you cannot hold her energy through social media and through observing her in social media every single day for extended period of time, and deal with the lessons, with the emotions, with the messages that she shares, well, it's a sign that you may struggle with that in a physical life. So if you cannot be consistent and have a structure and build that structure, right, as the consistency, structure, security of a masculine that you bring by checking in with her energetically through social media, how will you hold space to check in on her every single day in real life? So again, check with yourself. Are you doing this subconsciously? You just like give yourself an excuse that, oh, I didn't have a time to check in on her, although it takes all of 11 seconds. Or you actually realize what you're doing. So check in with your commitment, because again, you may be a great man at this point. You may be committing to yourself. You may be committing to your workout routine. You may be committing to your developments, to your career, to your friends. You may become very reliable, the man that really gives the energy of structure, of commitment, of stability, right? But that last test, that is your feminine, there's still something. So again, all these things that I'm mentioning, if it's resonating, if you're still watching, it means that you are on a very high level of awareness, that you've done so much work. Your Satori, your awakening, your union, it would be really close. You're on your last cycles, right? But sometimes we're failing to see how the counterpart is actually showing these lessons to us. So I want you to pay attention to those three things: the messages that she's leaving to you, because she is your oracle and she's your channel, she is your well. The what was the second thing? The emotion that she's causing within you, brain freeze, sorry, the emotion that she's causing within you, and the behaviors, the behavioral patterns that she is still exposing through your interaction with her. That again, all these things you may have, it's just started shaking, you feeling the sign, you may have addressed the sign, maybe most of you address these things, the reason I said that, in your life. But there's this final threshold. You have to polish it a little bit more, push it a little bit more. And again, depending on your dedication, on your pace, it may really not take that long time. Sometimes the awareness itself may be enough for some masculines. Me saying, oh, you're not consistent, you're going to realize that at this point, and it's going to take you, you're very swift, you're very smart. At this point of the journey, it's really just pay attention. The very final thing I want to mention, just to close this episode, is that you remember that she's your teacher, because the feminine leads in the spirit realm. She is your oracle, she's your teacher, she's your portal, she's your channel. She will always deliver messages from the divine, especially when you are in union. You will have that private oracle for you to connect better to the physical world, to your mission, to abundance, and to magnetizing everything that you can in life to really ground that highest timeline for both of you, abundant timeline, into existence. But I want you to remember today that you were her greatest teacher. You will always be her greatest teacher as well. But in the beginning of this journey, everything that I explained to you, learning from messages, learning for emotion, learning for behavior, she learned from you. Because when she got activated to the madness that this journey is, and all the in and out started, and then the beginning of the separation, you were saying things to her, you were doing things to her, you were causing certain behaviors within her, and you were doing that subconsciously, just like she is doing this subconsciously now. It was a little different because you were doing it through the shadow, because you're the masculine and she has to go first, whereas she now is doing that through her light, because she's not doing anything wrong. Whatever she's causing within you, it sits within you, right? So we learn from shadows. We embark on a journey of soul healing through the reflection of the shadows that we both carry. Whereas you, when you embark on your journey, you are pulled towards the light that we already emit. Right? The dance of the shadow and the light until we integrate, and all is welcome and all is good, right? They're both needed and necessary. So in the beginning, when you would ignore us, when you would ghost us, when you would dismiss us, when you would project on us, when you wouldn't give us consistency, all the crap, okay, let's face it, that you would do, that hopefully you've forgiven yourself at this point because it had to happen. And at this point, it's just a funny little story. That's what it's going to be between the two of you. Absolutely no regret, remorse, and I wouldn't want it any other way, because all those things that you did, you were teaching her. It was in the blueprint of your soul. Subconsciously, just like she's thinking that she's preaching and teaching and sharing her passion, without her knowing, every single little thing teaches you something to get you closer to her. Just as you in the beginning, without you knowing, guided by your shadow, doing all these things, again, ghosting, avoiding, dismissing, you were subconsciously doing these things because your soul knew that they had to be done to remind your feminine what it means to be feminine, what it means to love herself. This is the cycle. We have to remember that we are the gatekeepers, we're the standard setters. The core of femininity is self-love, self-worth. We have to learn to love ourselves enough to say no even to the other half of our soul, as long as you're not respecting us. And then the core of masculinity is to understand that you are only human, that there's a higher power that you need to obey to, that you need to listen, that you need to walk towards that light. And your feminine, although human as well, she's the portal to that. And she will reflect all that you need to course correct with that light always. You are each other's greatest teachers. You wouldn't reach union if it haven't been for the lessons of your feminine. But she wouldn't be who she is if it haven't been for the lessons of the masculine. In the beginning of this journey, we are equals. We walk as one. And we are each other's greatest teachers and greatest students. All right, my sweet masculines, I hope this was helpful. I love you so incredibly much, and I will see you soon on Monday.